Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. Depends upon your time zone. My name is Rohit, and I am super excited to welcome you to the very first lesson of our foundation playlist. In this session, we are going to build the basic step by step. We are going to answer four big questions: what is cloud? What is AWS? What is server? And what exactly is the data center? By the end of this video, you will have a clear picture of how all these concepts are connected. So let's not waste our time. Let's start the session. What is AWS? Let's break down the name. A stands for Amazon, the company. W stands for web, which simply means the internet. S stands for services. So if you're going to combine all these three, it means Amazon is a company that provide different services over the internet. So when we is going to say that which service is going to offer, like EC2, VPC, and S3, and many more. We will going to learn these services in detail in our upcoming session. Take an example when I'm going to talk about services. Right now, I am Rohit. I'm teaching you cloud technology through the internet. So what service I am offering? Teaching services through internet. In the same way, Google, and everybody hear the Google. And which service Google offer you? Search engine services that you all using through the internet. But the big question here, how these services actually reach to you? To really understand AWS or cloud computing, first we need to understand how you access these services over the internet. So let's start with a very simple example that everybody knows, google.com. To access the google.com, what you required? You required a device. Which device you're going to require? Either you required a laptop, mobile phone, tablet. And these devices is offering what? These devices is going to offer you CPU, RAM, storage, network. And in top of this hardware, the Windows operating system, Mac operating system, Linux operating system, Android or iOS will be installed. Once you get this operating system and the hardware, after that you're going to install what? You're going to install browser like Chrome, Edge or Firefox. Now you open the browser and type google.com. But wait, can you access Google just like that? Answer is no. You're not going to access it. Most people, when I ask this in a class, they say, sir, we need Wi-Fi. Good guess, but again, not enough. Or think you bought a Wi-Fi router for Amazon and configure it at your home. Will you automatically get internet? The answer is no. A Wi-Fi router only create a local network inside your home. If you see in the diagram, what Wi-Fi router will be doing here? The Wi-Fi router will be helping you to connect with the multiple laptop. A laptop is able to connect to B, A laptop or B laptop is able to connect to the mobile phone. So the Wi-Fi router only create a local network inside your home. To actually reach the internet, did this local network is going to help you out? The answer is no. You need an ISP, internet service provider. Like in India, we have a Airtel, Jio, Tata, and many more. They provide the internet connection by connecting your home router, usually with the fiber cable, to their network, which is connected to the global internet. So you buy a plan with Airtel, Tata, or some other service provider. The engineer visit your house, they install the fiber cable, and they enable you to connect with the global network. So let me show the figure as well. So in this diagram, if you see, this laptop is connected to this Wi-Fi, And this Wi-Fi is connected with the fiber cable. They provide you the cabling, and that cable will be attached with your Wi-Fi router. See, in your house as well, you're going to find the same configuration. After that, this service provider, internet service provider, connect you to the global network. If this setup is done at your home, you have a laptop, you have a Wi-Fi, you have a ISP connection, internet connection, then how you going to access Google? Then you need to open your laptop, then open your web browser, type google.com and hit enter. Your laptop send a request to your Wi-Fi router, and Wi-Fi router then send the request to ISP like Airtel Geo somewhere, and this ISP will be going to connect you to the global internet. Global internet means what? Like google.com. In the google.com, you're going to find that .com. This is the domain provider, DNS system. So this ISP will be going to forward your request to the domain provider. And from this domain provider, there are multiple name servers are running. And this DNS system and name server, name servers, we are going to discuss in our later session, which is Route 53 video. And I'm going to cover this topic in detail on that. After it's reached to the DNS, DNS will be going to forward your request to real google.com. But where does Google actually live? Google is a search engine application. Just like you running application like Zoom, MS Team, Chrome on your laptop. The Google search engine is also an application, but it does not run on your laptop. If it is not running on your laptop, does it mean that it's not required CPU memory storage? So answer is no. If your Zoom, MS Team, Chrome, everybody required operating system, CPU, memory and storage. Same way, the search engine application which is running by the Google is also required CPU, memory and storage. So what that mean? That means Google search application run on very powerful computers called servers. So when you try to access or type google.com, you are actually sending a request all the way to the one of these Google servers, which is running somewhere. Now I introduce a new term, server. And you're going to ask me, hey, what is server, Rohit? It's something special. A server is like a big brother of laptop. You can consider as a laptop, but it's have more CPU, more RAM, more storage, and it built to handle many users at the same time. In the laptop and desktop, everybody know what is laptop, everybody know desktop. What do you receive? If you see in this two picture, you're going to find that in the desktop, in the left hand side, you're going to find it is a desktop picture. In this desktop picture, which thing you receive? You receive monitor, mouse, this is your mouse, this is your monitor, this is your keyboard. Same way in the laptop, if you see in the right hand side, you're going to find that you have a display as well as you have a keyboard, touchpad, which is work as a mouse. Not only that, in the desktop setup, in the left hand side of desktop setup, you have a cabinet. And this cabinet holds CPU, motherboard, RAM, hard drive. Hard drive basically you can consider hard disk. Same way, laptop also consider these things, CPU, RAM, motherboard and hard drive. And it's also installed operating system on top of this. The same way, the server also need this motherboard, CPU, memory, storage, network device, operating system. The main difference between the laptop and the server is a server is designed to handle heavy workload. It can run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without stopping. It serves many clients, user device over a network. It is not designed for a single user, but most laptops are designed for single user. Assume that when you accessing Google search engine, Are you alone accessing it? No. Multiple people are using and millions of people are using it. So in the backend, there are multiple servers are running to serving your request. And each individual servers handle thousands of the request. What does this server do basically? If I'm going to ask you, what this server do? The server basically do web server, showing you the website, mail server, handles your mails like Gmail. In the backend, some mail servers are running. File server, store and share your files. Application server, run business application that user access. Database server, store and manage database files for your application, whatever application is running. So these few types of servers are available and they do multiple different features they provide. It totally depends upon the what type of software and application you're going to run on your server. The server is basically a physical device or virtual device or you're going to install your applications. Either it's a web application, mail application, exchange application, file server, application server, or database application. So in the simple word or definition, in a simple definition, you can say that a server is a powerful computer, a software or software system that provide resources, data, or services to other computers called client or a network. So what you understand, the Google search engine is running on some server. But have you ever thought where is that server actually live? Where is that server actually running? Think about your own laptop. If you want to use it, you need a place to keep it, maybe on table in your room. In the same way, a server also need a physical place to live. Server are not floating in the air. It is not running in somewhere in the air. They are installed and configured in a specific place called a data center. So when you open google.com, your laptop is the client and somewhere in the data center, a server is running the Google search application and send the result back to you over the internet. So when you open a google.com, your laptop will send the request to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi will send the request to ISP. ISP the domain. And somewhere in the data center, so some server is running. So assume that this is the Google server. So Google server need to place somewhere. This somewhere place is known as data center. Somewhere in the data center, this server is running. And the request received by this server. Once it's received by the server, it will going to reply back with the response. So response will be go back over the internet and going to receive to you. Now I have introduced a new term, data center. Many people get confused here. What exactly is the data center? Let's break it down with a simple example. So let me take a very simple example. You have a room with 1000 laptop running 24/7 day and night. So if you see in this diagram, this is your room. This is your room. In this room, 1000 laptop is running. So I have one question to you. When you use just one laptop for a longer time and playing game or doing some heavy work, do you feel that your laptop is generating some heat? If your answer is yes, then assume that 1000 laptop running together and doing some heavy work for next is going to run 24/7. Now imagine if 1000 laptop running together, you can guess how much heat that laptop will produce. If the laptop is going to produce heat, is the room temperature will be going to increase? Definitely yes, it's going to increase the room temperature as well. So to keep those devices healthy, you must control the temperature of the room. So to control the temperature of the room, what are you going to do? So your answer is you're going to use cooling system. In the cooling system, you can say the air condition or air con, correct? So if you're going to say that in a room, to cool this room, you required a air con or cooling system. Now suppose you have one air con, like assume that this is your AC. And due to some technical issue, that AC stopped working. What are you going to do? You're going to immediately pick a call a service center and saying that, hey, my AC is not working, it's not turning on, or some whatever the issue you're facing, you're going to explain them and requested them, hey, could you please send some engineer immediately? Might be they have engineer, might be they don't have. So they will going to schedule an appointment according to the engineer time slot. So they mention you that engineer will come tomorrow. So today your AC is not working and engineer is visiting tomorrow. Till then, no air con, no cooling system is working. Will you able to maintain a safe temperature in the room in this case? So answer is again no. You're not able to maintain it. Why? Because 1000 laptop is running, producing heat, room temperature increase. Once the room temperature is high, and every device have some allowed range of temperature. If the temperature goes beyond that allowed range, the laptop or the server may start hanging, crashing, or shut down. And might be in your life, you face the same issue when you're playing game or doing some heavy work. And that is why in the data center, you don't rely on just one AC. You need at least two air con. In this diagram, if you see, we have a two air con installed. So we required two ACs. Two air con system. So if one goes down, we have an alternative solution. So at least two cooling systems so that if one fails, the other can still keep everything running. Now, think about the power supply or electricity. Did your laptop require power supplies or power electricity? The answer is yes, you required it. Without power supply, you are not able to charge your laptop, even though it's not going to run 24/7. To run your laptop 24/7, you required power supplies. Same way, in the data center, you often have a dual power supplies for the server. So if one power supply line fail, the second one keep it running. Not only that, keeping the two power supplies, even though we're going to configure UPS system and generators. And UPS and generator also we are going to put two. If one fails, we have an alternative. So UPS we are going to use to handle the short outage, means it's go for 5 minutes or 2 minutes. And generator will be going to handle the longer power cuts when the power cut is longer. Why we are focusing on the so much power? Because we also have a two power supplies, we also have a UPS, we configure generator. Why? Because servers are expected to run 24/7. If there is no power, your application stop. If the Google server, where the Google server is running, it is running in a data center, and assume that the power supplies goes down and you don't have a generators, are you able to access google.com? So answer is no. So application need to be run 24/7. If we have multiple laptop here, 1000. In this case, if this A server wanted to communicate to B server, how they able to communicate? At home, you use a Wi-Fi router to connect to your devices, correct? So in this above picture, if you remember, we discussed about that A server and B server or mobile phone. If you wanted to share some file between these two servers, A and B, so how you going to do? You're going to place a Wi-Fi router. Wi-Fi router is what? It is the device. Which device? Network device. And this Wi-Fi router give you the network connectivity between A server to B laptop, A laptop to B laptop, A laptop to mobile phone or other mobile phones. If you want to share some data from A to B through this Wi-Fi, you are able to send it. Similarly, if you want to send from A to mobile phone, same via using Wi-Fi router, you are able to connect and send the files. So what this Wi-Fi router give you? This Wi-Fi router give you the connectivity, a network, and this network is a local network. Same case is applied to your data centers. In this data center, we have a room. In this room, we have a 1000 laptop running. And this 1000 laptop wanted to communicate with each other. So what I required? Definitely I required a network device, correct? So same way, we also required a network device. This network device might be a router, like our Wi-Fi router, might be switches and other devices, which help you to establish a connectivity between internal data movement as well as to connect you to the internet as well, or to other location. You might be have two houses, one house wanted to connect to another house. You need a connectivity between these. To house, you can consider you have a two different data centers, two location where your servers and devices are running. Assume you have a laptop C and you need to take a backup of this laptop. How you going to take a backup? Definitely you need an external hard disk, correct? To store your backup files or some extra data, whatever store in the laptop. So you need an external hard drive or storage system where you're going to upload your data. For the safer side, if something happened to the laptop, you're going to recover your data from that external hard disk. In the same way, in the data center, we uses storage devices and storage system to store the huge amount of data for safety and the reliability. So we also required a storage device. Why I'm explaining you this network device, storage device? Because whenever I ask this question to my students and I ask you what is data center, so they mention that data center containing servers, data center containing network, they mention storage, but nobody knows that this data center containing server, network and storage devices, everything combined together. What else? If you have 1000 laptop running in your room, are you alone able to manage that? The answer is, I think, no, absolute no, not possible, because you are not a hardware expert. You are good in operating system, but you are not good in a hardware. Might be you're good in a hardware, you are not good in operating system. So you required a team. Same way in the data center, we require team, such as what? Data center team. Data center team is basically, you can say, operational team. We required network team. We required server team who is managing your operating system and others. Network team is managing your network devices. Security team is managing the security devices like firewall and other things to secure your network. Nobody is able to attack on it and handling the security devices. Not only that, you also required a physical security. When I say physical security, what that mean? That mean only the authorized people are able to access the data center. Why we require physical security? Because these servers may be using or running critical application and keeping the sensitive data, and we need to secure them. Now, so what exactly the data center? So let me show you one picture. So if you see this picture, this is the data center picture. In this, if you see, there are 3 UPS systems are running. As well as we have a generator, at least 2. If one goes down, we have an alternative. Same way, 3 UPS means if one goes down, we have an alternative. As well as we have cooling system. This CRAC means computer room air conditioning. So we have a cooling system. How many cooling systems? See here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a 4 cooling system. One goes down, now we have an alternative is available. As well as you see here some rack are mounted or installed. What is this rack? These are racks are known as server rack or network rack. Why this rack is required? So rack is like a almirah where you're going to put your some material or product, you're putting your clothes, you're putting your mobile phone, you're keeping something. A space where you want to put something. But why we required a rack in the data center? You have a laptop. To use this laptop, you are going to keep somewhere in the table, correct? And we say that laptop is equal to a server, is a big brother, but without screen, without keyboard, without mouse. It's only a desktop, a cabinet, which containing CPU, memory, motherboard, and networking device and other component. To place this server, are you going to place in the table? Are you going to place in the ground? Or something you require to manage that server properly placed somewhere? That is known as rack. So if you see here, there are two type of racks are there: server rack, a network rack. If you see here, it is look like a almirah like structure. There is a one door. This is your door. You can open this door, close this door, and rack will be in different sizing: 80U, 18U, 22U, 32U, 37U, 42U. What is this U means? One U is equal to 1.75 inches. Okay. 2U is a double of it. Same way, it will increase. So when I say that 42U, just multiply with 1.75 inch. It is the height of your cabinet. As well as if you see this diagram, you're going to find that this is our rack and this is our server. If I'm going to zoom little bit, I'm not sure it is visible to you or not. You're going to find some numbers are written here. Here 20 is written, 21 is written, 19 written, 18 written, 17 written, and 22 is written, 22. What is numbering? This is number of your U. So if it's a 18U, from below it started and it's increased upward. Okay. And the server will be placed inside. We're going to slide it. How are we going to slide it? Let me show you this picture. Then you're going to more understand it. So if you see this is our rack. It's a almirah-like structure. We have a door, front door, as well as we have a door lock. We can lock it, unlock it. After that, if you see here, we have a server. So this is your server. This server is slide bracket is using it. We are going to install one plate here, and this plate is where it is a slider. You just insert it, it will go inside the rack. If you want to pull again, you can pull it as well. So it is go like this and come out like this. And in the back, there is some cablings are connected: power cable, LAN cable, fiber optical cable, whatever you want to connect, it's going to connect in the back end. And this is the cabinet. Cabinet is like your complete rack. Okay. So this side panel, you are able to open this side panel as well. We have a top panel. We have a front panel. You can unattach this each portion in the rack. Okay. So I think you understand that we have a server, and this server we are going to place in the rack, and this rack will be going to place on the data centers. So if you see, this is our data center. In this data center, we are using server rack. In server rack, we are going to place our servers. Great. So let me show you one data center picture. So this is the data center picture. If you see this data center picture, In the data center, we not only have a one rack, we have a multiple rack. If you see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 racks, and many more. And they are placed in a proper manner in a row. And the ventilation will be a proper. Why? If you see this portion of the floor, from there, the airflow will be coming. Which airflow? Air cone. And the temperature of this room or data center is very low. It's very hard to stand over there for the longer period. Okay. So so this is a data center picture. So what is a data center now? So putting this all together, including what? Including your cooling system, power supplies, generator, UPS, network device, your servers device, your storage devices, your security team, people, security team, building is known as data center. And in the definition, if I'm going to call it out, the definition of the data center, a data center is a building. A data center is a building or a dedicated space used to house IT infrastructure such as server, network, router, switches, firewall, storage system, and supporting system like power, cooling, and security. So that is why I'm saying combination of all server, storage, network, power, cooling, people, security, and building is known as data center. I'm hoping now you have a clear idea of what a data center is. But now you might be thinking, Rohit, why are you talking so much about servers and data center? We are here to learn about cloud and AWS, not the server and data center. This is very good question if you're thinking the same. So let me clarify one thing. There is no concept of cloud without a data center. So next question to you all, what is cloud? What is cloud? What do you think about cloud means? There is no concept of the cloud without data center. Cloud is not magic in the sky. It is not a magic. Cloud is actually built on top of data center. So, what is cloud? In a simple word, cloud is just a term. And cloud computing means you are using server, storage, databases, and network that are running in the data centers. But those data centers are not owned by you. Instead of buying and building your own data center, what you're going to do when we say cloud computing, you're going to rent server, storage, and other services. And there are few popular cloud providers are there, service providers are there, cloud service provider are there, like Amazon, AWS, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, and etc. And how you accessing this AWS, Azure, and Google? You're accessing these over the internet. You're just sitting at your home, open the laptop, open the browser, enter the URL of AWS, and the console will be open. And how the console will be open? If you remember, we discussed about how you are accessing the Google. How you access the Google? If you go back above again, what do we discuss? We discussed that from your laptop, you open the browser, the connection will be formed to your Wi-Fi router. Wi-Fi router will be sending the request to the ISP, and from the ISP, it is reaching to the Google data center. But when you're accessing AWS, the request will be forwarded to the AWS data center. The request will be forwarded to the AWS data center, and you're accessing your AWS resource. How you're accessing AWS resource? Through internet. So I am hoping now you have a clear understanding what is cloud, what is AWS, how they differ. AWS stand for Amazon Web Services. You already know Amazon is a company name, web service, internet services. They offering some services like compute, storage, database, AI, etc. So in the simple word, AWS is a Amazon cloud platform or the cloud service provider that gives you IT services over internet. Instead of buying your own services and building your own data center, you rent them like virtual server like EC2, storage like S3, database like RDS, network security, AI, analytic, and other many more. Okay. And you just use the service through AWS and you pay only what you consume. So, what is cloud now? Cloud is just a term. Cloud computing means you are using server, storage, database, and network that are running in the data center. But those data center are not owned by you. And in the simple and very simple language, the cloud computing is accessing the data center via network is known as cloud computing. And the cloud is just a term. And AWS is a service provider. They owning their own data center, and these data center you're accessing from internet. I am hoping you understand the concept of the server, data center, what is AWS, what is cloud, how they differ, how they interconnected, why we need to understand this all server and the data centers. In the next video, we are going to cover about AZs and other concept of the AWS, and we will going to jump on the characteristic of the cloud computing. Thank you everyone for joining.